Brazil, signed from a club in Belgium, Lommel, for 3.2 million euros in July. We look forward to seeing what he might do this evening. Welcome to it. Great to have your company on this Saturday evening. Let's see what Sundowns can do. They're out to the MTN8, but they will certainly be hoping to reach the group stage of this particular competition. There is Ribeiro Costa, the other Brazilian. He's from Santa Helena. He was signed from Beveren last July. And I think we're just waiting for the time to tick by to 8 o'clock before the referee blows his whistle and gets us underway here this evening. It's a Sundown side, bit of a mixed bag that has been selected by the coach tonight. And for the Swazis, well, we'll see what they can turn out today, because they've been fairly decent in their recent matches in AFCON qualifiers, losing both of them by only a small margin, 1-0 against both Mali and Guinea-Bissau. So, Mafa, what can we expect tonight?
We're expecting Sundowns that really have to bring those fans back. I mean, it's a pretty empty stadium because of their recent performances, or lack of performance, if you like. And 3 games, haven't not scored a goal, and today they're hoping to score, and fans don't think it is worth the trip. I mean, it's a good evening, but if the team was cruising, I'm sure they would be cruising along with them, but they just feel we can't do that. We'll watch them on TV. Maybe we'll watch the second leg if they give us an impression now.
Good point. I think the cruise ship is stuck in the dock at the moment, but it'll be taking off sometime soon. So, welcome to it. Great to have your company, as I say, on this Saturday evening, as Sundowns will get us underway. The away team tonight playing from right to left in their familiar Brazilian colours. So that side, Ronwin Williams in goal. Defense of Lebusa, Kutsia, Kekana, Tiwani might drop in there as well. Lebogang Mabue to control the midfield. Allende and Morena will operate wide. Costa, Reyners and Sales, as we are underway here at Lucas Masterpieces Moripe Stadium. And Sundowns expect them to have a lot of the ball early on. They will certainly try and make an impression already. Somebody trying to make an impression is Aseko Tiwani, making a good run down this left-hand side, but not picked up at all. Here's Lebusa, big tall man from Velkom in the heart of the defense where he's playing tonight. No Modiba on the bench. They've got a lot of players that we haven't seen in Sundowns colours for a while, like Rushan Deruk on the bench as well. Peter Shalulile sits on the bench tonight, as does Temba Zwane. So it's going to be interesting to see how the coach chooses to play it. Here is Sales, looks a very interesting character. And this ball will go wide now, just about kept in by Morena. Does well to find his teammate. And that's Lucas Ribeiro Costa. Brazilians, certainly we expect them, Marks, to have a lot of time on the ball here and to be able to stamp their authority on the game early on.
Yeah, it has always been the case, especially those that play for Sundowns, and we've just recently seen one at Kaizer Chiefs who played a good game today. So Brazilians are in charge, or South Americans are in charge when it comes to these local games.
And what's going on with these South Americans? They've all put peroxide in their hair. I see Allende, I didn't recognize him there for a moment with the blonde streaks in the hair. Sales up front as well. So they're trying to add some color to proceedings. Here is Allende, playing the ball wide, the man from Chile. Nice little layoff there from Reyners. His first touch officially in the Sundowns jersey. There might be something on here. Tiwani trying to set it up. Referee has a good look and then points to the penalty spot. What a sensational start. This is the young man. He's just 18 years of age, signed from Sekhukhune United in July. And Tiwani has earned his side a penalty very, very early on. He's accepting the congratulations here. Marks, what do you think? Penalty or no penalty?
Penalty straight away. When that contact happened, I just thought the referee must give this one. But interesting is just Tiwani. The first time he plays, this is his debut game at Sundowns. And he is doing the Modiba thing. He is surging forward. So he's going to be a handful, just overlapping from the left.
Wow, what a start this is for the Brazilians potentially here. And the referee's given the penalty. He's not going to change his mind. I presume it'll be Ribeiro Costa who will take it from the spot. He's their designated penalty taker. And this man you mentioned, Sandanezwe Matabela, who had his birthday on Monday, turned 35 years of age. So he's a very, very experienced goalkeeper. Part of that Eswatini side that played against Guinea-Bissau and Mali. didn't keep a clean sheet in either match. But here's the Brazilian to see if he can put the Brazilians ahead. So Ribeiro Costa from the penalty spot, and he comfortably does it, and Sundowns score through one of their own players for the first time this season. They lead very early on here by 1-0.
Is it appropriate to say, ladies and gentlemen, Sundowns have scored? Because they haven't for 4 games now, or 3 games, but then this was the time when they had to score. Through a penalty, yes, it can be questionable. Yes, it is a goal, but now let's see them gaining confidence, scoring from the run of play. But well taken penalty there.
Yeah, keeper going completely the wrong way, and what it also means is that Tiwani will settle down very quickly. He's already stamped his authority on the game. I think we're going to need quite a bit of space in our notes here to record goal scorers tonight, because I fancy that won't be the end of the scoring. But just to remind you, Ribeiro Costa, as is the Brazilian pronunciation of his name, scoring a penalty effectively after just 3 minutes. And now an early touch here for Ronwen Williams. As Ma was saying, Ballon d'Or nomination, which for a goalkeeper is extremely rare, but he's one of a rare breed on the continent. Here's Lebusa, Kutsia, and Sundowns already settling into that familiar style of play. It's taken them a while to get going. They've had tough matches against Stellies, losing both of those. They just about sneaked through against Polokwane City. Last season, of course, they lost the cup final against Pirates, having lost their invincible tag against Cape Town City on the final day of the season. And only 1 goal scored in all that time. That was scored by Zwane in the 71st minute in that Nedbank Cup final. And of course, they needed an own goal to get past Polokwane City in the MTN8. But they've settled down early here. They have an early lead, and that will certainly stand them in good stead. And already the crowd getting vocal. Here's Kutsia playing it forward to Allende. Looks for options on the right-hand side. No press at all coming from the Swazis. And as a result, Sundowns can just settle down. They've got the early goal. They don't need to do anything rash. Here's Lebusa. Expect him to see a lot of the ball. Kutsia playing just in front of him now. Mabue. This is nice work. Morena goes all the way back, and now Grant Kekana, who is of course the reigning PSL defender of the season. It's a man with great pedigree. Ikram Reina sliding it forward. He's playing slightly deeper tonight than he usually does, or has been doing for Stellies in recent times. And the referee gives the free kick in favour of Mbabane Swallows. They're known as Umkhonto Shaka, the Spear of Shaka. A club established in 1948. They've won their league title in their country 8 times, of course defending champions as well. That's why they're playing in this competition, and they're the first team from Eswatini ever to qualify for the group stage of this competition. That's a lovely turn from Mabue, does nicely. Support behind. And Lebusa will see a lot of the ball. Tiwani, Marks, I think he certainly will feel a lot more confident after earning his side that penalty.
He also wants to make a statement, and he just wants to claim a stake in the team, and that is where the pressure will now be mounted on those that are not on, like Mudiba and many others on the left-hand side.
Of course, Sundowns open their league program in midweek in the Tshwane derby at home to SuperSport United. There's a bit of a mistake. Kutsia needs to backtrack, but possession is with the home side. Strange to be playing here effectively on Sundowns' home ground and call Mbabane Swallows the home side, but they are for tonight, and they've won themselves a throw-in on that far side.
They've got big boys, even their new signee, but they need to be mobile. They're playing the 4-3-3, and that 4-3-3, I just want to see them working together, and especially when they come from the middle and joining the 3 up front.
See, they've got this man, Vilagati, who wasn't originally put down as a part of the starting lineup, but he's playing tonight in the number 5 jersey. So referee, I think, will just want to make sure that that wall is back the requisite distance. That's Magagula lurking up front, Bongi Magagula. Interestingly enough, I'm doing my research for this game. I see that Walter Routman, way back in the probably about 12, 15 years ago, he was the coach of the side, briefly brought in, and he wasn't happy with the way things were organized there. He lasted about 6 months and then he walked out. Man who's, of course, has coached so many different clubs in South Africa as well. So over the ball here is Twala, the captain. Might be a left-footed effort from him. No, it's indeed a right-footed effort that goes wide of goal from his teammate. And Ronwen Williams can just watch that one sail past. He's upright. So 1-0 to Sundowns early on here in this one. Williams keen to restart action quickly. He's been out of action for some time, and I think he's very, very happy to be on the park again after that shoulder injury that let him down and meant that he couldn't play for Bafana Bafana recently. Allende will slide in. We'll get there easily. Kutsia behind him, and he'll go all the way back to Ronwen Williams. Just of what you've seen so far, anything that Mbabane Swallows can draw on here early on, because they seem to be sitting deep and allowing Sundowns lots of space on the ball.
I should be fair for them and say, yeah, maybe it's too early to say nothing will come out of them, but they seem to be wanting to do a lot from or attacking from the left-hand side, and it means that they just sized the Sundowns defense and thought, but maybe let's do something on the right-hand side. We know that Kekana has really been struggling lately, and you cannot be fooled and say they haven't been watching Sundowns in action.
Well, here's Mabue launching the attack nicely. Morena, man who's got lots of pace, played, of course, on that synthetic pitch on Tuesday in that AFCON qualifier against South Sudan. First ever meeting between Bafana Bafana and South Sudan, which ended 3-2 with a very, very late goal by Bafana's late goal specialist, Talent Mbata. Here's Allende, Kutsia seeing a lot of the ball, playing slightly in front of the defense today, just acting as that extra shield in the midfield. This will go wide now to T1. Nice touch, looks very confident on the ball, but he's not really being pressed. Now possibilities for something to happen here. Reyners makes the run, so to Sales in the box. It's comfortably defended. The ball put out of play. Sundowns are seeing the majority of the possession early on, and they'll be happy with that, I think, just to settle into a pattern of play. Now Allende playing more centrally tonight with Tiwani operating wide. We'll see the ball on the left-hand side. That's a nice pass through the legs of the opponent. Hiliso Newman, that's a nice touch. The flag stays down. Great save from the goalkeeper. Wow, that's a good save. I thought Sales was going to get his first goal in Brazilian colours. He was played in there so easily. It was outstanding play. Just have a look at this. It's a little 1-2 Sales. It's a give and go. Superb play by the two Brazilians, combining outstandingly. And what a save that is from point-blank range from the goalkeeper. That is outstanding from the 35-year-old.
He did very well there, goalkeeper. That is Matabela. But then, how do you just give the ball away like that? Piliso was almost punished. Don't play inside passes in your own half.
Again, the ball from the corner allows the shot to come in from Mabue. There's a crowd of bodies in the box, so in the end it's Mbabane Swallows who will clear the action for the time being, but they'll lose possession again. Nice work from Morena out wide. There's confirmation of the score. Sundowns leading through that penalty early on in the 3rd minute of play, and after 10 minutes here they lead by that 1-0 and winning another free kick. It's really hard for a side from Eswatini. That's Ikram Reyners. 5 goals in 1 game last season against Polokwane City. Incredible effort from him. You see, they're tugging him. They're just trying to stop him. They know how dangerous he is.
And they know how quick he is, and he just cannot slip out of that trap. But one thing that I can recall is, you remember the last game when Stellenbosch beat Sundowns in the MTN 8L? That's when Mangoba Mneti, the coach of Sundowns, saying, we are getting so many chances. I wonder if the nation realizes, the yellow nation he meant, the nation realizes that once we start putting them in the back of the net, we'll be a better side. Yes, they scored through a penalty, but they always keep on surging forward and missing chances.
And you make some really good points there. I'll just watch this move for our viewers and then expand on what you've just said. Nice little touches on the edge of the box. Here's Kutsia. Does he have a crack at it? Not brave enough at this stage. Allende taking it on again. He's got Morena out wide. So many attack-minded players in the side, waiting and just on the edge of the box, waiting for something to happen. Kutsia, man from Kakamas in the Northern Cape. Here's Tiwani, goes back. Well, that's not the best of passes. Lebus has to stretch those long legs of his. That's very good experience defending. He did so well. He just knew that the striker was on him, and he just felt the challenge, went to ground, earned a free kick. That's great defending.
That's great defending, and he played to his advantage. We know that as for pace, that's where he's lacking, and he just didn't want to have one of those where the striker now nicks it and then have to chase him.
And you made that point, Mark, that I wanted to come back to about the fact that Sundowns, despite the fact that they lost 1-0 to Stellies, they hit the post twice. I mean, Modiba was so unlucky, and I think Ribeiro Costa also was really unlucky as well. So they did come close in that game, even though it wasn't a vintage performance. The referee, is he going to allow play to continue? I don't think he will. He's blown his whistle. He brings them back for a free kick to Mbabane Swallows inside the centre circle. 15 minutes gone in the first half here. Small but passionate crowd. They've already got something to cheer about. That's a wasted free kick. If you're going to get set pieces like that, you've got to use them a lot better.
Well, he confirms the difference that I always talk about. There's a set piece and there's a set piece. And that's sadly going wide, and you think, what is this guy doing?
Yeah, that was a sad piece, absolutely. But it's a good experience for the side. As I say, they beat Ferroviario 1-0 in their last round. They won their home game 1-0. They drew 0-0 in their away leg, and that's why they've qualified. That's a nice ball over the top. Now, what sort of service? Well, it's a difficult one for Morena, because he had to make sure that he was keeping the ball in play and at the same time had to try and position himself to get the cross in, and he couldn't quite get it right. So, Sandenezwe Matabela, one of 3 Swazi internationals. Piliso Newman was on the bench for both matches against Guinea-Bissau and against Mali, didn't play in them, and the captain, Kwake Twala, also played in both matches, as did his goalkeepers. They've got a few internationals here. They've also got a Zambian, Bobo Kadimbo, as I say, just signed recently, and their DRC international, Grace Mosengo, is on the bench as well. So they've got a bit of pedigree about them, but you wouldn't expect them to be too big a challenge here for Sundowns.
No, not at all. Just allow me to indulge in politics for a bit.
Go for it.
And I was just asking myself when we were busy doing the research here, and I thought, they played Ferroviario away, they played them at home, the return leg.
Morena setting it up here for a possible shot to come in, and I think Ribeiro Costa just maybe delaying, just not taking the opportunity first time, and the chance going a-begging. Carry on.
Yeah, I was just saying, having played home and away, but then why in the same tournament, the same Champions League qualifiers, prelim, they play Sundowns away and away? What's the difference? What happened to the pitch that they played against Ferroviario?
They played here. They played their home game on this very, very pitch.
Then they say home. It was
home
away.
in inverted commas, yes. They played it here. So apparently no stadium available in Eswatini that serves CAF requirements. So as a result, CAF wouldn't allow them to play in their home country. So they've come here, and as Aaron was saying in the build-up to the game, I mean, very, very interesting that they should choose a Sundowns home ground, effectively, home stadium, as their home venue. So the sides are going to do it twice at this ground in back-to-back weeks.
Beggars are not choosers, isn't it?
Well, maybe they feel they're going to draw a big crowd because, of course, it's their home game. So even if it is Sundown supporters that will come and watch the game, who knows what the reasoning is, but it's going to be the left foot of Ribeiro Costa to curl this in.
He's one of those unlucky players that in that game against
hit the post.
Against Stellenbosch.
Indeed so, but he scored tonight, so he'll take it. It's a good corner and a free header, so easily done, and Sundowns double their lead, and the congratulations go, I think, to Lebusa. We'll just confirm that. It's a man who scores frequently with a head. Yeah, he's the man getting the congratulations. Musa Lebusa, Welcome born. He rose up high, and even though they have big defenders in the Mbabane Swallow side, powerless to stop it. Just have a look at that. It's a free header. It's an easy header. The goalkeeper's hemmed in. He's got nowhere to go. In fact, it's his own player who's keeping the ball out, and Piliso Newman, who's standing in front of him, doesn't allow him to get to the ball. That's one of the easiest goals that Lebusa will ever score. Sundowns 2-0 up on 18 minutes.
From the corner, the keeper wasn't in charge at all, and he just clapped the back of his teammate instead of challenging the ball, trying to punch, trying to push them away and say, I want a clear view and I need space for me to get the ball. And that's where I love my age when I just look back and say, I told you so. Didn't I tell you about how erratic this man is?
You did?
He is.
But
We'll still see more.
I have no doubt. It looks like Sundowns have decided tonight all the goals they've missed out on in their last 5 matches. They want to try and collect a whole glut of goals tonight. Because last season and this very stage of the competition, they won their match 4-0 against a side very, very lesser known side on the continent. And they won 4-0 in that fixture, qualified for the group stage. Of course, in the last 5 years of this Champions League, they've 3 times reached the quarterfinals, twice reached the semi-finals. Winners, and that gold star that they wear was because of their 2016 exploits against Zamalek. Of course, winning home and away on aggregate. That's a lovely ball over the top. Here's Reyners. What can he do? Plays it in for Sales! And his left-footed shot is just a glancing effort. It was a lovely move. When Sundowns get it right, and their front 3 are combining so well. Just have a look at this. Reyners in acres of space. Now, Salis knows where he's going, even though they haven't played together much. And he just draws the defence. When he gets the pass in, he knows he's got to strike it first time. So he didn't get as clean a contact as he would like. There's the erraticism that Mafa was talking about from the goalkeeper. And he puts the ball straight out of play one more time. But 2-0 to Sundowns. This is a party time for them in Attridgeville.
They really are in charge. They just need to be composed and continue with such runs. I mean, that Saleh's run and the combination was just showing that they worked on something in training.
They couldn't have had too much time to work on it, of course, with Reyners only just signed. Reyners was cup-tied, of course, for the MTN8, having been a part of Stellies. So he couldn't play in that competition. So tonight, his official debut. Tiwani also getting a rare start tonight. Here's Allende, the Chilean, looking for Sales. I think the two of them have both been to the same hairdresser by the looks of things. Here's Allende chipping it forward. Here's Sales again. Nice little layoff. Oh, they're working a lot of magic. Reyners looking for support. Lovely touches again. Tiwani. This is good stuff from the Brazilians. Just enjoying life on a surface they know so well. Kekana pushing up, my boy. And two of them having some useful touches, but the team in white can barely get on the ball. And now that they've got it, they need to use it and use it productively and try and find a little bit of time to take the pressure off, because it's been all Sundown so far, and when you don't have the ball, it's a lot harder. You've got to chase around and it takes a lot out of the legs. So when they do have the ball, they need to play better passes, but they give the ball away. Sundowns, however, return the compliment. Here's Newman playing it forward, wasted ball, and Ronwin Williams can collect comfortably and set up a counter-attack.
Yeah, you can see the lack of confidence or the wind that the 2 goals just being knocked out of this Mbabane side, because you realize that when they pass the ball to each other.
Morena laying it off beautifully here for Ribeiro to try a shot again, looking for his brace. The Brazilian not able to get it right that time, but lovely bit of play. Morena's pace down this right-hand side. He's going to worry Mbabane Swallows all day. And you see the shot just ballooning over the bar in the end, and the keeper grateful to watch it sail over the bar. It really has been all Sundowns early on. So Mbabane Swallows, as I said, 8 times league champions in Eswatini, 93, 05, 09, 12 and 13 they won it back-to-back, 17 and 18 they won it back-to-back, and then in 2024 they've also won the Swazi FA Cup 4 times, last in 2016. They were league champions by 5 points last season, losing just 1 match. They've got a 26 match season because there are 14 teams in the league. They won their last 8 in a row, and with some big scorelines, a 7-1 and a 3-1 on the final day. So they've had some really good results, but this is a very, very different proposition.
Yeah, in fact, the injury to Sales gave me the opportunity to finish my point. And the point I'm trying to make is, with the Mbabane Swallows, when they build up, they can't even have the confidence of knocking the ball through spaces or through the gaps against Sundowns, because they realize we're going to lose it. So they try to play the ball back. And when you play the ball back, we don't credit you for keeping possession.
Yeah, and the other thing is, it's when they, as you say, when they do try and get forward, they keep giving the ball away, and then they're having to defend, and Sundowns are too skillful for them at the moment. I think the crowd enjoying it here. 22 minutes gone. They're going to have a water break because even though it is past 8 o'clock in the evening, it's still a very, very warm night. Hard to believe that it was freezing cold just a week ago here. We had a cold front and now it feels like we're in the middle of summer.
Ironically, on Tuesday we froze to death, myself and colleague Gloria, froze to death in that open stand in Bombela.
Okay.
And suddenly guys are having a, hydration break.
Amazing that. But
32 degrees in Pretoria today.
And probably not that much cooler now in the evening also. So, yeah, it really is extremely hot and humid here, going through very, very much a heat wave in Gauteng. This is a little bit better from Mbabane Swallows, just playing the ball out of defense. That's a little better than I've got 3 runners here running into position. They need to find their man. That's a nice little layoff. Lebusa's beaten, and then he gets back in the nick of time and makes the challenge. There was nice work in the end, but that was probably the most constructive period of play we've seen from the side in white throughout the match. Now they're looking a little bit more confident. Iwani will just let that run behind for a goal kick. A lot better. Still a bit of improvement maybe in the end product, Marfa, but that's what we want to see.
That's what we want to see, and now we know what they need. They need water.
Yes, indeed.
Just after the water break, they look confident because the coach gave them that quick chat and said, guys, go for them. I mean, don't be scared. You know, they are just like you. You know, those kind of lines that are very simple. They're just like you, just go for them.
Those kind of lines that nobody believes, but everybody nods their heads and says, yes, we know, we'll do that. I must say, Lebusa twice now has come off the better in challenges, defensive challenges. He's actually done particularly well in those challenges when he's had to. He's been put under a little bit of pressure, but handled it nicely. Could see it. Given a chance to start. That's a lovely ball over the top. Now Morena, has he got the pace out wide? What can he do? Just holds it up a little bit. Look at the running off the ball here. Very, very skillful. They've got left footers, they've got right footers as well. Allende trying to lay it off into the path of Sales. And in the end, from the foul, the referee gives the free kick in favor of the side in white. Man who scored for them, incidentally, in their first round match. Maja is on the bench today. Scored just after half-time in that match. You see the foul committed. Well, it looked to me a bit of maybe that the decision should have gone the other way.
Yeah, Velakati went with both feet, and in fact, he ended up being injured because the opponent landed on his foot.
Do you think the referee feels a bit of sympathy here?
I think so. Give them some.
There you go. 25 minutes played. The drums are beating. It's a great atmosphere, even though it's not the biggest crowd in the world tonight at the Lucas Masterpieces Moripe Stadium in Atteridgeville. But it's Sundowns leading. A very early penalty from their Brazilian, or one of 2 Brazilians in their starting lineup, and then Lebusa a free header. But nice to see that the home away side, in inverted commas, have brought some support. Saleh's going off on the stretcher here. Let's hope it's not too serious. It's for... Here was the opportunity he had moments earlier. It's a very fine save, that. And he's done that a few times. The give and go, the 1-2, getting the return ball. And that time drew an excellent save out of the keeper. This doesn't look too great for him.
Not at all. Kwaya is the man that just landed on his ankle, just on the outside of the left ankle, and that is when he had to be stretched off.
So at the moment, Sundowns playing with 10 men, as you say. Kwaki, the Ghanaian, they've got 3 Ghanaians in the squad. They've had some players who are well known in South Africa. One thinks of Tony Tsabedze, retired now, but man who played for Silver Stars. Remember Silver Stars? That takes me back to my youth. Maritzburg, who are now, of course, Durban City. Santos, Supersport United, Tony Tsabedze. He was part of their squad not so long ago. I've got a few other names that'll be reasonably well known, but not too many standout players in their side, but a chance for them to show what they can do against one of the very, very best teams on the continent. Side who, of course, won the new competition that was introduced last season, and of course, the African club competition that they want to try and institute. As we see, that I think there's going to be a change here. Mafa, just having a look, it looks like Maseko is going to come on. Tapelo Maseko to replace Sales. So Sales's match tonight lasted all of 27 minutes. It's a bit unfortunate, and Maseko introduced. I suppose he'll occupy a very similar position.
Yeah, very similar position, just making those runs in those pockets, and that's when Ribeiro now is expected to find him.
So what they might do now is push Reyners up front. Reyners was playing just effectively, just slightly behind Sales, but now I think he might go up front and let the build-up work happen behind him. Here's Allende, the Chilean. Of course, Gaston Cirino has made the move to Amakosi this season. They've lost a few of the other players. Esquivel left the club as well. Sundowns have released a lot of players. They've also brought in a whole lot of new players. Kodisang has joined the side. He's on the bench tonight and is signed from Moreirense in Portugal in July. They've made a couple of really good signings. Sales one of them, but he's going to take no further part in this game. So I don't know if it's precaution that he's been taken off or if that injury is a little bit nasty. I suppose that we'll have to wait and see. Sundowns have a game in midweek against SuperSport United, the start of their Betway Premiership campaign, where they're going to try and make it 8 in a row if they can. And then, of course, next week they're back here to play the return leg of this fixture, when they will be the designated home side. Newman doing nicely, Allende working hard. Now there's only one peroxided player on the field, and it is the Chilean Allende, who's certainly full of running tonight. 11 here on the ball is Manisa, 25-year-old, who generally plays behind the attackers. And so coming up for the half-hour mark here, Sundowns very dominant in the possession stakes, in the shots on goal, in the shots on target, in the shots off target, and indeed on the scoreboard, where it really matters. And enjoying themselves out there today. It's also good for the team to get a bit of confidence now after some poor results of late. Sundowns fans expect the team pretty much to go on and win every game. So when they go through a run, as they have done recently, it's hard for the supporters. This is good work from Ribeiro Costa. He's done brilliantly here, and potential appeals for another penalty. The referee has a good look and says no this time. It looked like he was going to dribble his way through the entire team there for a moment. 24, Piliso Newman. He's a Swazi international, but he's been found wanting on a number of occasions already. Kutsia, now Mabue, son of Sidwell Mabue, of course, who represented so many different teams in South Africa. This is the substitute. That's a good curling effort. Don't know if the keeper saw it until late, but he did well enough in the end. Maseko's curling shot. Half an hour played. It is 2-0 to the Brazilians. And Maseko, it didn't strike that all that cleanly, but you can see what he was trying to do. And this time the goalkeeper does nicely. But look at Costa here, how well he does. He beats 3 or 4 players, and he's still going, and then he sets up the opportunity. And it doesn't turn out to be a shot on target in the end. But Piliso Newman, 20 years of age, is in a bit of trouble.
Piliso is in trouble just at the time when, I think that's when Morena was trying to hit that ball, and he pulled out, and that is when you realize that he did well too. He could have hurt himself, Morena.
Well, here is Reyners. I think I said it was Morena. In fact, it was Morena following up. It was Reyners who struck the shot. Apologies for that. But Newman looks to be in a bit of trouble here, and he's one of the more experienced players in terms of international appearances, even though he's just 20 years of age. They do have a number of defenders on the bench. They've got Manana, they've got Lamini, and they've got Maja, the man who scored in the last round. This is how the scoring started, from a penalty. Beautifully put away by Ribeiro Costa to make it 1-0 after just a few minutes, and then a very easy free header here from Lebusa. No trouble at all. The goalkeeper hemmed in. There was nothing he could do. He just flapped at the ball uncertainly, and Lebusa's put it in the net. 31-year-old former Ajax player, and I think those fans are pretty delighted with what they've seen so far.
Talking fans like the idea of Mbabane Swallows fans. they just, or management, if you like, because they might have said, have T-shirts written 2023-24 champions, CAF champions, championship, knowing that they may not go all the way as they are 2 goals down now, but at least you had that on when you were playing in that Champions League preliminary games.
Yeah, for them, I suppose it's a really good learning curve to play matches like this and to have the opportunity to do what they can, go out there and achieve what they need to achieve in terms of the continent.
Just for geography lessons, I'm sure this is when we can take time when they're stretching off the men here and say, this is the reason why the Eswatini fans are here in numbers is because we just round the corner from them. 3.5 hours drive.
Indeed so.
From here to Eswatini.
Well, while we're doing geography, let's complete the geography for you and give you some information for those of you who might be watching elsewhere in the world, wherever you might be. Eswatini, formerly Swaziland, they changed the name. In fact, name was changed by King Mswati III to mark 50 years of independence from British rule. It was changed in 2018. They became Eswatini. They're 153rd biggest country in the world. So they're quite a small country, 155th in population, a population of just over 1.2 million. Compare that with well over 60 million in South Africa, and you can see it's chalk and cheese. Only 200 k's from north to south at the widest point, and only 130 k's from west to east at the widest point. So very much a minnow country in every respect. They've only have 1 representative in this competition. Only allowed to have 1 representative. South Africa, of course, have 2. Pirates, who won earlier today against Jwaneng Galaxy, their bogey team from last season. But they put that bogey to bed, so to speak. Got the monkey off the shoulder. If you don't mind me throwing every idiom I can think of into one sentence. Here's Tiwane, nice play. And Sundown starting to launch something here. That's good work from Reyners, looking to set up the opportunity. They've got a bit of an overlap now. Morena, can he play the ball into the box? They just need somebody facing towards goal to try and finish. Unfortunately, that wasn't the situation. The bounce of the ball also upsetting things. Twala, the captain, assuming responsibility to try and clear, and he does nicely. As aside from Eswatini trying to move the ball upfield, but Sundowns comfortably win it back through Lebusa. Here's Allende. And he's going to send it wide. That is the outball, and it's a very effective outball because of the pace that Morena has on that far side. That's a lovely play. Now, what sort of cross is delivered into the box? Nobody there to finish. Reyners was lurking there. It's a really nice play. He's made a difference since he's come on.
You've got to always trust your players. And Lebo, when he goes wide, you know he's going to ping in that cross because he will outpace any defender. And that's when the teammates should have just been alert throughout.
More problems. All the internationals are having problems tonight because this is the goalkeeper. Sandanezwe Matabela, 35 years of age. As I say, turned 35 on Monday. He's hoping to celebrate his birthday week with an upset result here tonight. Doesn't look to be the case. Looks like the groin, and if it is, that's going to be a problem for a goalkeeper. So they do have another goalkeeper, Bongiswa Dlamini, on the bench. Don't know what happened there particularly. He just went down off the ball and struggling a little bit. He has been involved in a lot of action so far tonight. Did you see anything that's
No. In fact, it's very interesting. This thing should be a niggling injury. I'll tell you why. There was a time when they were still a goal down against Mali, and he still went down for treatment.
Wow.
So I think, you know, when you just keep going with this injury, that there is no time, because of the nature of games or fixtures that you have, that you cannot attend to it.
And it's interesting that they've decided to go with him tonight, even if he is carrying that potential injury, because of the importance of this game for them. So they do have 2 other goalkeepers in their squad, one of whom is, of course, sitting on the bench tonight. They've also got Gininza, Sandile Gininza, who's a 36-year-old goalkeeper. It's also part of their squad, but not included in the matchday squad for this one. Ball will run out for a throw into Sundowns in their right-back position. Very comfortable fixture. Grant Kekana, we haven't seen all that much of him. He hasn't been needed to do too much defensively tonight because Sundowns have generally played the match inside the Mbabane Swallows half for much of it. Here's Kutsia. Lebusa just directing traffic, just telling his teammates where to go, and you can see there's so much space and so many options for every time a player with the ball looks for somebody to pass to. There are about 3 or 4 options, and most of them unmarked. And it's just something that Mbabane Swallows are going to have to learn, and they'll have to learn it the hard way. The pressing is non-existent. It's just so much space.
When you say the pressing is non-existent, I was just pricking my brain and thinking, is Sundowns too comfortable? They're in charge? Or
ball into the box, and very, very near. 2 of them could have scored. Now it's kept alive there by Tiwane. It does nicely. Is there an end product here? They've gone all the way back into midfield one more time. 4 or 5 players lurking in the box, waiting to try and get on the end of it. And I think Sundowns have messed up that opportunity. Kwake Twala, the captain, just clearing for the side in white, but so many players lining up to score.
Yeah, I was just saying, is Sundowns too relaxed and composed, or they have just realized we've got to now get back into this game? Because the last 3 games, if you can recall, from that of Polokwane City and the subsequent 2 against Stellenbosch, they have never been in charge. They've been really made to chase and exposed at the back. We both know that their slow defenders were really exposed.
And you and I did that game on radio for the Polokwane game that we thought might end comfortably inside 90 minutes. In the end, it was an own goal that settled it. Dennis Onyango, of course, sent off in that game. And Sundowns had to play from the 83rd minute onwards with 10 men, but Polokwane City did them a favour, scored the goal for Sundowns effectively. An own goal in that game, which allowed Sundowns to progress, but then they came up against a Steli side who are making giant strides, and they will be in the final against Pirates at Moses Mabhida in a few weeks' time. Really looking forward to that one. That's a lovely pass again, if it can be controlled. It is controlled. Morena doing beautifully to pluck that one out of the air. Now they line up opportunities going on the outside. Is there a finish? Oh, that's a brilliant goal. That is a fantastic goal. And Sundowns have made it 3, and Ekram Reyners has scored for the first time in Brazilian colours. A man who, as I say, scored 5 last season in a single game. Even Ronwin Williams is going to congratulate his Bafana Bafana teammate. They love this man, they love Iki. And he's put his side 3-0 up inside 40 minutes. Lovely finish, but the build-up work there was outstanding.
Oh, yes, the trickery was unreal. That's what I was going to refer to. Look at that. It's just skipping, and Reyners was as sharp as razor there in the box. That's what you need. Quick strikers that can just seize the opportunity.
He took it so well, he really did. Scored 5 in a game. The last time I saw a player score 5, and in fact it was the fastest ever hat-trick in South African football. I'm going back now, Marks, probably to about 2006, 2007. The Herman Immelman Stadium, it used to be called, the Germiston Stadium, and James Chamanga for Swallows in a game against, I think it was Platinum Stars in those days. Swallows won that game by 7-2, and Chamanga scored 5 goals in that game, including a hat-trick in 4 minutes. And then he sort of disappeared off the scene thereafter. So Iki doing the business again. Oh, that's sloppy. Ball given away inside your own penalty area. And Sundowns, I think they've got too many options. Everybody wants to score here tonight. Costa, Lebusa and Reyners already on the score sheet. Now they go the direct route. Wrong option this time. They allowed a wrong option. But Sundowns just seem to slowly be getting that swagger back.
They are. In fact, I wonder if you heard the most played build-up to this from that was the recorded from the goalkeeper, Ronwin Williams.
No.
He kept on saying, I don't think we're struggling. We're just going to turn the corner, and this is the time when we're going to turn the corner. He kept on emphasizing that they just waiting for the big moments, and the big moment is when the league starts. So I just thought, well, I can't wait.
Only a few more days before Sundowns get their league campaign underway. Betway Premiership, very exciting competition. Lots of teams to look out for. Magesi, we haven't seen them yet. Their first appearance in the top flight. Richards Bay just about hanging on last season and staying in the league. Then of course Chiefs off to winning ways, had to come from behind in the match we showed you earlier. Football returning to Bloemfontein, to the City of the Roses, and plenty of other matches to enthrall us. Some of the bigger sides starting their campaigns in midweek because of their CAF commitments. like Pirates, Sekhukhune United, Sundowns and Stellies. Yes.
You can't talk about Bloemfontein without praising those fans. They were there in numbers.
Fantastic.
Now, I don't praise the timing because they come when they're ready, but it is just one of those fans that you know that they'll pack the stadium.
And a lot of the Siwelele fans, I suppose, now having to support Marumo Gallants, or at least support football in Bloemfontein, the beautiful game. It's so great to see that. Of course, they remember the Free State derbies. Yalakoto against the Siwelele side, that's with the red against the green, so many years. And it was fantastic to see those derbies no longer part of our football calendar. Maybe one day we'll get a Free State derby back again soon. In the meantime, it's Sundowns looking for a fourth as they press. Here's Allende. Of course, Yalakoto against Punya Selesele. Well, those were fantastic games. I had the good fortune to commentate quite a few of those over the years. And good to see football back in the central province in the country. Allende just ticking down the clock. Sundowns don't want to do anything silly, and as I say that, they concede possession. Now, can Mbabane Swallows do something? Foot in prevents that attack. Going into the final minute then of the first half, it's a 3-0 situation, and the coach here of Swallows, Coach Ngwenya, well, he knows that his side have been given a bit of a lesson, but I suppose you've got to expect that. Sundowns given a bye in the first round of this competition, together with 4 other sides, Al Ahly, Esperance, TP Mazembe and Petro Atletico, who didn't have to play their first round match because of their pedigree on the continent. They were put straight into the second round. And if they win this, of course, the sides will go into the group stage. Whoever wins this match, it looks like it's going to comfortably be Sundowns.
What do you think that Sundowns, when they saw Mbabane Swallows coming out of the tunnel, they just said this is just going to be a whitewash?
And now the question is, how many are they going to be able to get tonight? Here's Tiwani.
Whitewash? White jerseys?
I got it. I did get it, Mafa. That was very good. I was just waiting to see if there was something launching in that attack, but now we can enjoy your way with words. This is great stuff from Ribeiro Costa, setting it up. Now Allende. This is a goal with South America written all over it if the shot does come in. It doesn't at the moment, and it's gone all the way back to the man from Kakamas. So they really are a bit of the League of Nations here in Brazilian colours. Just ticking down the clock. 3 minutes will be added at the end of the first half. It's been a game not played at electrifying pace by any means, but very, very comfortably controlled by the side in yellow and blue as they look to attack again. 18-year-old Tiwani, who started the action by earning his side a penalty after just 3 minutes. Sundowns have held the lead ever since and then allowed it to grow after 18 and after 40. Allende, does he have a go? Works the ball out of his feet very skillfully there. And this needs clearing. In the end, that's good defending, actually. I think the captain there has learned something from his opposite number, or from Lebusa, in terms of how to go down, just feel the contact, go down and get the decision from the referee.
Don't they all do that these days? But one thing that I've picked up, though, is Sundowns coach made sure that he rests those reputable players that we know that they will be the regulars, and trying something else. So as they play now, comfortable as they are, you won't believe that I've been picturing those that are on the bench and those are not even on the bench, Sundowns, and just putting them in those spaces to say so-and-so can replace so-and-so, to just get the Sundowns going. And why I'm doing that is I'm trying to answer the question, are they as hot as they have been throughout 7 in a row, the league? Are they going for league number 8?
Well, I'm sure they're going for it. Whether it happens or not remains to be seen. But as you say, Marks, they've got so many, an embarrassment of riches effectively in each position, that the Bafana players who played the full game the other day on that synthetic pitch, people like Mudau and others, Mokwena and Zwane, who of course had a big part to play, that the coach can afford to leave them out of today's game and say, you know what, we'll save you for midweek. Oh, possession given away here. This is sloppy. Now Ribeiro Costa goes down on the edge of the box. That's a professional foul. Should be a booking, perhaps, surely. He's given the free kick on the edge of the area. It was a well-timed foul, because slightly later it's another penalty.
In fact, half of his body was already in the box. And that's how he got away with it. That was even nasty. How do you do that? Manyisa just clipping him. He realized he was gone, but his teammate was in front of him. Just leave him for your teammate.
I suppose he thought, when you see a Sundowns player running in on goal, we don't want a fourth goal before half-time, so they thought, let me do what I can. I'm surprised the referee didn't produce a yellow card there. Maybe he needed to produce a white card. I'm extending your metaphor. There we go. Anyhow, it's going to be a free kick here, edge of the area. More danger. Sundowns will line up their wall right next to the opposition wall. I'm sure one or two of those players might duck. They know what the plan is here. It's Allende directing traffic with his South American accent. So there's a bit of Spanish that he will speak. The Brazilians will, of course, speak Portuguese. It's going to be interesting to see. It's Ribeiro Costa and Allende, and those are in fact the correct pronunciations of those two players' names, in case you're wondering why I'm not saying Ribeiro Costa and Allende. It is Allende and Ribeiro Costa. That is how you pronounce it officially, so I've been told. There he goes, the Brazilian, into the wall. Wall does its job. You mentioned some of the taller players in this Mbabane Swallows side, and they did the job there. It is half-time as the whistle sounds. Very, very comfortable half that Sundowns will really be enjoying. They've scored 3 times through Costa, a penalty after just 3 minutes. Lebusa, an unmarked header, free header in the box after 18. And then the best goal of the lot. Beautiful teamwork, setting up Ikram Reyners, took it beautifully 5 minutes before half-time. It's a really hard match for Mbabane Swallows. They'll go in at half-time and sort of realize we're only 45 minutes into this one. We've still got to do it again for another 45 and then do it again next week as well. So hard work for them. Anyhow, half-time it is here. And as things stand at half-time, it is Mbabane Swallows 0, Mamelodi Sundowns 3.
Three quick goals from
You need to be winning games, you need to be scoring goals.
Just hope from a Brazilian point of view that Salles' injury is not a long-term situation, although they certainly are not devoid of strength in that position up front. So here is the change that you were referring to, and Nhlanhla Ngwenya, I don't know if it'll be a lucky game for him, but he's introduced. He's a midfielder, and they also are bringing on Siyabonga Zwane, another midfielder, so they are giving their bench a chance. I wonder if Coach Mngiti will also give some of his fringe players a chance, and some players who don't often get a lot of game time, to play in the second half, particularly if the game is pretty secured. See a late arrival here. It looks like Vilakati has in fact gone off, so he's the man to have made way, number 5. So he is off the park as things stand at the moment. 3-0 as the referee Omar Aturn from Somalia, blowing the game into action in the second half. Mafa, what can we expect? As our guests in the studio, our panel in the studio, was saying 3 goals not enough. Sundowns should really put their foot down, try and get as many as they can just to build the confidence. Do you think it's going to be more of the same, or are they just going to knock the ball around and enjoy themselves?
In fact, my wish is for them to score 6 more, because of one simple reason: they haven't scored in 3 games, so let it be 3, 6, 9 and make up. But on a serious note, I still believe that Sundowns are not going to go out and score 3 more, but they can at least score 2 more. You know, this thing that I still don't get, that even if a team wins 4-0 or leads 4-0 at halftime, second half they don't seem to make or to score 4 or 5 more. And that is the reason for that, which I just said I don't understand, but the reason for that is because now there are players that comes from the bench and kills the rhythm of the game, and the coach says, let me rest them and give these other guys a run. So that always just disturbs the rhythm and the flow of the game.
But in terms of results here, well, the 3 goals in the first half are certainly going to give the Sundowns team a bit of confidence. It doesn't look as if they are under too much pressure, as we've all been saying. Ronwen Williams has been virtually a passenger in that first half. It's nice for him to ease his way back after his recent injury situations. And Sundowns have been, for the most part, very, very comfortable. There have been 1 or 2 situations where Lebusa's had to deal with things defensively. And both times he's done nicely, and there just seems to be so much space. Now, plenty of options in the box. Ribeiro Costa, I'm just watching his movement. His movement is outstanding. The way he just creates a space for himself to get on the ball and gives the man in possession an opportunity to pass to him. How to play the game. He's 25 years of age, signed from Beveren last July, of course, and last season I called him the Brazilian's Brazilian. This season we can't do that because they've got 2 now. But his movement off the ball is quite outstanding. I think this man closest to picture there at the bottom of your picture, Pelo Morena, his pace is also going to worry. There again is Ribeiro Costa, brilliant move, and the save is made by the goalkeeper. Well, he comes up with some really good saves in amongst a quite eclectic mix of goalkeeping. That's beautifully set up. In fact, I don't even know, he might have just got fingertips onto it, pushed it onto the post. Let's have a look at this. It's Sidwell Mabue's son, Lebogang Mabue, and I think the keeper got fingertips on there, pushed it onto the post. So yet again, Sundowns hit the post.
Yeah, Sundowns will just keep attacking. I'm sure they'll get the 4th and the 5th, and then they will start bringing all those players that you've seen on your picture there, your Shaluliland again.
This man has been outstanding today. He goes to the far post, and then, as I say, that commentator's curse as he hits the corner a little bit too strong. And it drifts out for the goal kick, which will be quickly taken. I don't know why Mbabane Swallows are so anxious to restart the game so quickly. Ball now running out of the field of play. It's a Sundowns throw. Just wonder how long Sundowns coaching staff will wait before they introduce some other players. Rushan Daruk hasn't had too much game time of late. I venture to suggest that we'll see a bit of him. Maybe Mkhulise, Kodisang, man, of course, who was signed from Morarense in July. Might see him introduced as well, as well as the youngster Koza. So those are some of the fringe players on the bench, and now would be the perfect opportunity to give them some game time as well. So we might well see them in the second half as things stand. But for Sundowns, it's pretty comfortable.
Mike, I realize that you deliberately didn't mention Peter Shalulile, and I'll tell you why I think the coach will bring him on. It's because he's the man that's been really lacking in confidence, because he hasn't really been banging them in. So when the team is cruising like this, then that's when he would say, have a run, just make sure that you take chances and put the ball in the back of the net to just build your confidence.
It's a very good point you make there, Mafa, because, as you say, he hasn't been scoring of late. He's towards the end of last season, the goals just didn't come for him. He got a little bit frustrated, and this season as well, in the few appearances that he's had, doesn't quite run for him. So that's a good call as well. I was just trying to pick out the players that we don't often see in Sundowns colours who are on the bench tonight. There's a lot of names missing completely from the matchday squad as things stand. Here is Morena, who will collect the ball here. Certainly has got all the confidence in the world to run at the opposition. At times Sundowns make a mistake. Morena wins it back again. That's very good hard work, even at this stage in the match. And he links well here with Ribeiro Costa. And in the end, they win a throw-in for Sundowns on level with the penalty area of the opposition. So that's good work as well. And this man, Kwaki, the Ghanaian, in the centre of defence, he's had to work hard as well, just trying to shore things up. He's a 30-year-old, so plenty of experience in the side that aren't too experienced, even though many of their players are late in their careers, in their 30s, and they've got some players towards the mid-30s as well. So maybe they're going to run out of legs as things go on here in the heat of Gauteng. This is nice play again from Sundowns. Just look at the space that they've got. Layoff there, a little bit under hit. Now possibility for the breakaway. Here is Gadlela, doing well. Gadlela, strong on the ball. It's very congested in that midfield. You could almost throw a blanket over the players. They're almost like schoolboy soccer, where wherever the ball is, everybody chases where the ball is, and you have about 10 players around the ball. That's what it looked like there for a brief moment. But at least they are finding their men. Mbabane Swallows playing the ball out of defence. Williams comes and gets. The offside flag was up anyway, so it didn't matter. Spectacular clearance, however. And the officials tonight all from Somalia. Flagging there for offside. 6 minutes gone, second half. It's not the most riveting game of football, but certainly it's, from a Sundowns point of view, it's very important for them just to get the confidence back ahead of their league campaign, as you said, Mafa. New sponsors this season. They want to start well. They want to make it 8 in a row. 7 in a row was unprecedented. There's Tiwani, who's had a very good game wide on that left-hand side. Position that Aubrey Modiba would normally occupy in his wing-back position. Just pushing forward. Various other players as well who've operated wide on that left-hand side. Tiwani's been given the opportunity to do that tonight, and he's impressed for the most part. Not the most high-pressure cooker of a match for him. It's a really good game for him to show his talent. Allende. Sundowns just biding their time here.
The interesting part, Michael, is that it must have been interesting to go through what the Sundowns coach went through when he was naming his goalkeeper. He has two goalkeepers who haven't been playing for a long time. Onyango after the red card, we were together. And then this one, the injury to Williams. And either of the two that he could have selected, or either one of the two that he could have selected, was not going to be busy anyway, because Williams hasn't made a save.
I suppose he could have picked one of the fans of Sundowns and said, go in goal, put on the shirt and just stand there. I must say that control from Morena was outstanding in that move. Just the way he took that ball out of the air. Sundowns now threatening again. Are they going to get a fourth? You bet they are. You bet they are. And it's a brace for the Brazilian. Ribeiro Costa started the scoring tonight, and he scored the fourth goal in the 54th minute. Beautifully taken goal, clinical finish with the left foot, and that's a very, very educated left foot. Lovely move though from Sundowns, and well rounded off, and they're not finished, they want more.
They want more, but the way he also received that ball, it was a teammate, not selfish, just kept it for him and made sure, there we go, then just skipped it for him, and then the defender doesn't know who actually has the ball. That was a nice trick there.
I think it's the reverse of the previous goal, because the previous goal, Costa set it up for Reyners. That time, Reyners set it up for Costa. So all teamwork, and South Americans are celebrating as well they might. It's 4-0, and Sundowns have come to the party in a big way. There was a beautifully taken goal, and fans here certainly enjoying themselves. So you said to me before the game, Mafa, that if Sundowns turn in a performance tonight, we might get a bigger crowd here next week. Do you think we can bank on that now?
Yeah, we can bank on that. There will be in numbers. In fact, what will make them more is the fact that the Pirates and the Chiefs fans will be there just to say the Sundowns is back again. That's what they've been saying. Oh, we're going to win the league now. Sundowns is out of it. Now, if score becomes 7, then they will say the Sundowns has turned the corner again. They're coming with their last season's nonsense.
But you have to, I suppose, judge it against the opposition you're playing. So Pirates or Chiefs or who knows which other teams might say, you know, if we were playing Mbabane Swallows in this heat, we might also have put 7 past them. So it's going to be interesting. I think this league season is going to be a lot more competitive than league seasons we've seen of late. And that's really good for our football. Let's hope it is. You can't have a team winning the league by 23 points. A league as significant as our league in South Africa is, winning the league after 22, 23 matches, it just takes all the sting out of the competition. And you need a more competitive league, preferably a league that goes down to the final match or two. Another ball into the area. That time the keeper was commanding, like a colossus. Comes out of his goal. Every now and then he really does impress, and he turns it on, and then he makes the most basic errors. So it was really interesting to hear the analysis from Itumeleng Khune, who of course knows a lot more about goalkeeping than most of us. Just the way that he analysed the goalkeeping performance of this 35-year-old goalkeeper Matabela, and the way he's performed tonight. Made 1 or 2 brilliant saves, and then 1 or 2 very basic errors.
Well, I'm sure Itumeleng Khune can agree with me that there's only one thing that I know about goalkeepers, is that when they make a save, they start making noise and screaming at everyone in front of them, just because they know that's the moment where they are on camera.
Well, Mafa, it's 1-1, because I said they're going to bring on the youngster. You said Shalulile, and I think we're both right over here. Koza and Shalulile are coming on, and the Brazilian is going off. So no more Brazilians representing the Brazilian tonight. Looks like Lebusa is going to make way as well. So Shalulile on for Lucas Ribeiro Costa. And this is his last significant contribution. Beautifully taken goal. He shows the goalkeeper that he's going to the near post, then just curls the ball across him into that far corner. So this young man, Malibongwe Koza, good to see him getting some game time here in Brazilian colours. He's not going to expect to be a key member of the squad this season, but the coach has got a chance to give him a chance to show what he can do. And he's introduced him into the fray. And then, as you said, Peter Shalulile as well. Be good for Shalulile, I think, to get on the scorecard. Now, is there going to be something at the other end, just to make this game a little bit more interesting? Look at that pass. Now, Sundown suddenly have a 3-on-1 situation. The ball is wide. Now they need Shalulile, who's lurking in the box. Is his first touch going to settle it? Oh, he can't finish it, and the ball eventually is put wide. Great drama. That would have been the perfect introduction, and a script which Mafa started writing 5 minutes ago was almost played to perfection. It's a break out of defence, beautifully crafted attack down this left-hand side, and look at Shalulile, he's there. The defender comes across just in the nick of time. It's a good save from the goalkeeper, and in the end the defender almost puts it into his own net. Huge drama, and if Shasha had scored there, well, Sundowns fans would have been, never mind reading the book and writing the script, they would have been watching the movie. It's 4-0, an hour played, almost.
Very unfortunate there. He did everything right. I was just trying to think what could he have done differently. But he had to hit it on the first touch, because had he hit it first touch, he was going to blast the keeper. And on the left side, and he's not left-footed. So he did well to stop it with the right foot, and then keeper coming close. But as he was trying to play it past the keeper, it bubbled. That's why he touched the keeper. But if he had got it on the ground, it was going to slide past the keeper.
And so very, very nearly an own goal as well. The keeper now is in a bit of trouble. In the meantime, Melusi Dlamini, one of two Dlaminis on the bench for the designated home side tonight. Mkontok Ashaka. Forgive my pronunciation, I'm doing my best. And
you're doing well. Mkontok Ashaka.
Mkontok Ashaka. No.
That is,
means the spear.
Yeah,
so
belonging to.
Shaka spear, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. I've done interviews this week on radio in Afrikaans and in Spanish, so I'm really having to mix languages and having to think about how you say different words, and my brain doesn't work that quickly to be able to figure out all words, and sometimes I start thinking in one language and start talking in another. It's very confusing all around. Anyhow, that's the life of a football commentator. This man is impressed tonight. He's been very, very good. Tiwani.
Michael, it goes back to the point that I was making. You remember when I said Shalulile must come in when the team is leading because he has lost confidence. Coach throw him into the fray, and then he gets opportunities and continues to miss. So that's the only way he can build confidence. Not missing when it's crucial, when it matters, and the fence turns against him.
But the coach, obviously, with a great footballing pedigree, he's been an analyst here in our studio. We've had the opportunity to tap into his footballing brain, and it is an exceptional footballing brain that Sundowns Mental has. He no doubt has worked things out, even if results don't go for you all the time. And there are going to be times in the course of even the greatest of teams where results go against you for a while. The thing is to continue believing, to back the project, and to know that eventually, if you've got the pedigree, things will come right. Even sides like Manchester City lose occasionally. Today they were 1-0 down against Bournemouth before coming back to win. Sometimes you get these strange results that happen here and there, but as long as you've got the belief, and as long as you've got the players who back the coach and are willing to implement and buy into the end product, then you know eventually, sooner or later, things are going to go right.
Interesting you say that. Have you noticed that their belief has rubbed off their fans? Because some of us, when they are a goal down, we believe that they'll win this game.
Yes, indeed. Maseko setting it up. There's still a lot of movement. They don't have the inventiveness of Ribeiro Costa, so having to use other players, that's a bit messy. The referee says play on, but he might come back and revisit that. Referee Artun is a very experienced official from Somalia. We saw him at AFCON. Now Allende can't make it stick. And there's a chance for a breakaway here. Referee, is he going to award the... But I wonder if he would go back. I thought he might go back and revisit that foul on Maseko on this near side.
That's a yellow card.
Surely.
I don't know how you get away with it just like that.
Well, Mabue just buying one for back for his team. Oh, that's a bit interesting.
Got away with it.
Wow. and there also, Ronwin Williams very much on the edge of his area. I think he had partly out, partly in, and he's given the benefit of the doubt. Lovely through ball now to pick out Allende. Flag stays down. Now Shalulile, look at his movement in the centre. Wants the ball, calling for it. Nice layoff, and the shot in the end is Messi, and the follow-up is wide. I think he might have been in offside position anyway. But, well, chances are coming for this man, the Namibian. Look at him, lays it off there and then makes the run forward and just can't control it. I wonder if he was in an offside position, because he comes off the defender initially, so maybe he would have been played on.
Nothing wrong there. He missed the chance again.
Well, as you say, if you are going to miss chances, this is the game to miss them. What's that line that I heard a comedian say once? "Darling, I missed you," he said, and fired the gun again. That's my contribution to the humour of the evening. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching. It's 62.5 minutes gone, and another free kick, I think, for an offside. Well, we're coming up to the three-quarter mark in the match. Sundowns have scored 4 times, and Mbabane Swallows just trying their best. As I say, they first ever side from Swaziland, or from Eswatini as they're known as now, to make it through to the group stage of the Champions League. They did it in 2018. This is a nice move from them, combining with a few of their substitutes. Ball played into the area, easily defended though. And the Sundowns defenders have had hardly anything to do in this game, certainly in the second half. So they'll be almost guilty that at least they're earning their pay now with having to come from deep and set up another attack. Morena is back to his defenders. Kosa slotting in there in the right side of central defence. Here's Mbabane. Just taking the sting out of the game, trying to draw Mbabane Swallows forward to create the spaces behind them, but Mbabane Swallows know that they've been shell-shocked. They say once bitten, twice shy. 4 times bitten, you're not going anywhere. And 4 goals have already gone in. And as a result, the side very, very non-committal and just sitting back and protecting space rather than trying to press too much. Allende now with 3 men on him. Still manages to retain possession. Now he's freed up a bit of space. Does he take a shot? No, he sets it up here for goal number 5. No, great save from the goalkeeper. Well, this goalkeeper, he's had a very, very mixed evening, but denying the chance there for Maseko to put that ball into the net. But beautifully created move anyway, as it comes in here. You see him. Maseko does nothing wrong, really. He struck that really well. The ball going across him, could have maybe waited to strike it with the right boot, but he went with the left, and the keeper's made a really good save.
And also maybe could have played it low, because then it came straight to the chest height of the keeper. His was just to parry it away.
I think there are going to be plenty of chances. Shalulile this time just overwhelmed for once in the midfield. And here's the captain, Twalo's had a very difficult match. He's had a lot to look out for, and he's had to marshal his defence. He's had to lead the side. Here's Allende. Nice layoff now. Sundowns can just slow things down a bit. Fancy they want more. They want a lot more. Mbabane, lovely turn. Lovely, lovely turn there. Just the way he let the ball do the work and just ran past the opponent. It's a sloppy pass. Morena picking it up now, trying to play it forward towards Shalulile. Just place it past him. You just sense that there are going to be more chances created in this game. I don't think the goal scoring's finished yet. There are 25 minutes to go, and the players are hungry.
Twala from Mbabane Swallows realizes that we are 4 goals down, and he tries a nutmeg. He gets it right, and when he got to the other side of it, he gives it away straight away. Says, I'm playing for myself, the team must wait.
Great when a leader does that, I suppose. Yes, offside flag up. Well, Sundowns are certainly trying. They're all trying to get on the score sheet. Let me just remind you, Ribeiro Costa's 2 goals, 1 from the penalty spot and 1 9 minutes into the second half. And then Lebusa on 18, free header in the box, and Reyners as well.
That definitely wasn't offside. Very, very level with opponent.
Somalian generosity from the officials. And again, the flag goes up. I think that last one certainly looked more like an offside situation. So I think we're in for some interesting times ahead in terms of our football. That was certainly offside, so the officials got that one right. Let's hope we get a really nice competitive season. There's so many competitions, so many trophies to compete for, and plenty of competitions in CAF. We've got many of our teams that don't normally play in CAF. Sekhukhune United this season, Stellies playing in CAF competitions, so that's good as well. The power base shifting, and no easy games in any of the competitions, even in the league. All the teams are competitive, lots to play for, and soccer fans, we had to wait a little bit.
Don't forget Orlando Pirates.
Orlando Pirates, I'm not forgetting them at all. They certainly one of the powerhouses that we're going to look forward to seeing how they perform this season. They've made some very, very good signings. There's that goal here. Oh, that was so nicely done. It was a wonderful bit of build-up work in the end by the 2 players. Magagula setting it up for his teammate. And he just, with the bobbling of the ball, he just couldn't bring it down at a nice height to get enough power on the shot. 3/4 of the game gone. It's Mbabane Swallows 0, Sundowns 4, and there are going to be more changes now on the Sundown side. 2 more players are going to get a chance to come on and revel in the atmosphere here tonight. That's sloppy. Possession given away. Now Twala does nicely, retaining possession of the ball, but they're going backwards. And Sundowns pressing. Sooner or later, well, if if you're going to play past the press and try and beat the press, then you've got to do it with clinical passes. You can't dilly-dally on the ball, because sooner or later you lose possession, and then with so many men up the park, Sundowns have got an abundance of riches. Looks like Mkhulise and Kodisang are going to come on now for Sundowns. They're waiting on the side of the field. Mabue doing nicely. He's worked hard in midfield today. He's had a good, nice outing. Debogang Mabue. I wonder what changes are made. Is it just a case of giving these players some game time, or are there tactical thoughts behind these changes, Matha, do you think?
I think it's just giving everyone a run, because you know that most of them never even played in the MTN8, so it's just giving everyone available a run. And they'll continue to do so in the second leg.
Well, this game pretty much done and dusted. I mean, even though, as you say, there is a second leg to come next Saturday at 6 o'clock. It'll be Sundowns' home game. Look at the effort here from Morena, running back and to help his defence. It was really good work, even at 4-0 up, not taking his foot off the pedal, so to speak, and working really hard. Man has been doing most of his good work up the field, but realising the defence were potentially stretched, and he came back and helped his defence there brilliantly. He's certainly got a lot of pace. So Kodisang and Mkhulise waiting on the side of the field to come on. Kodisang, as I say, Sundowns is signing from Moreirense in Portugal. Here's Reyners. He's drifted out wide a little bit. He hasn't been as visible in the second half. So layoff. Where's Shalulile? There he is in the box. Tries the little back heel. Creates beautifully. And referee has given possession to Sundowns. Here come those changes. So let's see who makes way. Well, Allende has had a nice outing for him today. He's replaced by Mkhulise. And the other man to make way is Morena. Now we know why he ran half the length of the field to help his defence just moments earlier, because that's the end of his contribution tonight. He's had a very good game. His pace has worried the opposition throughout. He's been extremely quick and extremely useful. Very, very good player. A man who backs himself in most situations. So we've already had now 5 changes, and that will be the limit for Sundowns. They won't be able to make any more, but they're on the attack now with an attack in throw-in. 20 minutes to go, and Kodisang, his first touch today is going to be a throw-in in an attacking position, level with the penalty area. Sundowns going to be able to make it 5 or potentially even more. Is there going to be a consolation goal for the side in white? Ball given away. Mabilisa breaking out of defence. Well done by Kutsia, who's been virtually a passenger in the second half. He's had very little to do.
So with all the Sundowns changes, clearly now Zwane will not be able to, then Deruk and Mudiba. So those are the ones that don't even have a run, but the coach tried everybody that was on the bench bar them.
Well, I suppose there's plenty of games to come. I'm sure we'll see Zwane in that Zwane derby. That's another good effort. Very, very tight angle. Tiwani looking to try and set something up. Did as well as he could. He didn't have much field with which to work. But I'm surprised at Rishan Daruk. I thought maybe coach might give him a little bit of time. Oh, in the end, it's a corner. So very nicely done. I thought he had maybe struck the post, but Ikram Reyners on set-piece duty. You'd expect Iki to be in the box trying to get on the end of the set-piece. He's decided he's going to take the corner, not the best of corners. Swung into the near post, easy to defend those. He'll pick up the pieces, though, and keep Sundowns moving forward.
Don't you find the keeper Matabela very orthodox? I mean, did you expect that to be a save that leads to a corner?
No.
He just stretched his hands, nonchalantly and not caring. It's not like energy trying to catch this thing. It's so funny.
I thought originally that ball had hit the post or maybe the side netting. Now watching it on the replay, we see that it's the keeper just putting it behind. But I must say the keeper must have known something, because Ikram's corner was not the best. But still, to concede a corner in that position is...
I saw it, I couldn't believe it.
I think the word maybe that we could introduce is lackadaisical, because here he comes off his line. That's good goalkeeping this time. He's an enigma, this goalkeeper. He's a very interesting character to watch. You say you saw him in the match against Mali, was it? In midweek.
On Tuesday, yes. In the qualifiers.
And Mali won 1-0 against Eswatini. And all the teams around us playing their home matches on South African soil because of lack of suitable facilities. So we're getting to know South Africa pretty well. Even a side like Mauritania, Madagascar, beg your pardon, they played their match against Mali in a World Cup qualifier in June at FNB Stadium. So a lot of the sides around this region playing their home games in South Africa, just in better facilities and drawing bigger crowds, and also because of lack of facilities in their own country. Here's Kulise in midfield. It's hard to know who's where and how the coach sort of sorts things out, because everybody just seems to be all over the place at the moment. Formations have gone out the window, but Sundown still more or less keeping their pattern quite nicely. And I suppose you don't have to be strict in a game like this in terms of keeping your patterns too rigorously, because the game's pretty much done and dusted.
Only thing that looks good in the eye now is the front three. The rest are all over except being on our side. They're all that side and in the center.
That's why I'm hesitating a little bit, because you've got to look twice to see who's on the ball here, with the players all over the park. But Shalulile lurking in that position in the centre. He's just waiting for the right ball. He's waiting for a chance to get on the scoreboard. Now Kutsia, look at him. He's gone wide on the left-hand side in this attack. It's very interesting, but there's no real resistance coming from the side in white. There's Kodisang. Sundowns will be very happy that they were able to secure his signing. I must say, some interesting signings that they've made in recent times. I think of a man like Esquivel, Marcus. He was signed for big numbers last season. Didn't play all that much, and now he's been sent away to different pastures. So interesting. Sometimes in the transfer window you get things right, sometimes you don't get things right. But Sundowns have made a whole lot of different signings, and they've released a whole lot of players as well this season.
Yeah, interesting. I followed him up after he had left Sundowns, and in the first game back home, he was having a big fight with an opponent.
Oh,
He's
really?
suspended.
Wow. Maybe Sundowns knew something already there. Kodisang earning a free kick for his side. 15 to play. Does well here and just feels the knock from behind, goes down. So there's a set-piece opportunity here for the Brazilians, and a chance for our favourite goalkeeper to show us what he can do.
And he's not animated, have you noticed? Just calm.
Yeah, sometimes a bit too calm. But he is a Eswatini international, let's remind you. So it looks like it's going to be Kulise on set-piece duty. Curls it into the area. That's so comfortable for the goalkeeper through a crowd of bodies. Not the best of free kicks. And he releases the ball out to Mabilisa. It's a nice ball played out of defence. Now Gadlela. Tiwane back, using his weaker foot to cut out that attack. Sundowns can build again now, slowly, deliberately, with so many. Look at the number of yellow shirts you can count in that picture. About 7 or 8 of them, all waiting, almost like a flock of birds trying to fly off in formation, just waiting for the ball to be played to them. So much space created, and the side in white just sitting back, just trying to keep the front 3 or front 4 now in check, making sure the ball doesn't get to them. They're quite happy for Sundowns to knock the ball around in their own half. They just want to protect what they have.
I don't think they're even using the phrase, they can keep it, they don't hurt us, because they're hurting anyway already. 4-0, that's hurting hard.
Yeah, but you don't want it to get any worse. I suppose just put us into the mind of the coach coming back here next week after a hammering that the side have suffered in what is, in inverted commas, their home game. They have to come back here next week. Sundowns now back in confidence. If they do win their league game in midweek as well, they'll have even more confidence. They'll have more players who will have the belief, and the coach will believe that the system is starting to come right and that fortunes are starting to turn again after a little bit of a dip. So how does Mbabane Swallows prepare for their game next week, knowing that they're on a hiding to nothing, that there's nothing really for them to play for? How do they turn it around?
Yeah, as we see Sundowns attacking here, the answer to that is very simple. They come here, but give everyone a run, while giving everyone a run.
There might be something on here. It might be number 5. No. Disappointing finish from Kodisang. He's got his bearings horribly wrong there. Just looking for that far corner, but the compass wasn't out.
Yeah, wasn't on target at all, and don't give the coach a reason why he's keeping you on the bench. When you get a chance, it's coming from the bench, put it in the back of the net. But I was just saying, then the main thing that coach would have to do is to play his strongest team, and then do what he did today, just keep substituting. But he needs to say, guys, keep it tight. You now know what to expect. Give me a decent result. And if Sundowns have to win next week, they will win by 2-0, 3-0.
Let me ask you then on the other side, how do Sundowns approach it, knowing that the game is pretty much done, knowing that they've got so-called bigger fish to fry in the season? They need a lot of games they're going to be playing this season. So do they come with a second string side effectively next week, maybe with a few experienced players, but give a lot of their fringe players a chance, given that the game is pretty much done and dusted?
They have to do that, bring a second string side, and I'll tell you why, because you know that they know that it's in the back. Even if this team comes back, it can come back to 4-4. So what is very important for them is to say, now let's see what these new signees can give us and take it from there. But not that he's got to now play everyone. But the likes of Zwane will have a run. You know, just keep the wheels oiled all the time. Now, that oiling of wheels is going to help Sundowns, because remember, they are playing on Tuesday on the 17th. Yeah. SuperSport United, the first Betway League match.
And I suppose it's also about momentum. You want to respect the competition, but you can't risk going in with a full-strength side and then potentially getting injuries in a match where you've already done the hard work and then potentially have a player out for 6 months in the season. So there's a whole lot of things to balance. But I suppose for the Sundowns Brains Trust, they'll be pretty delighted with the way tonight has gone. The hard work has been done, and we'll see what sort of side they put out next week. But they will be through to the group stage. Who knows who they might get in that group stage? They might face one or two potentially bigger sides, or they might have trips to the other end of the continent. They might have to play North African opposition, which in the past for Sundowns would have been a bit scary. But I suppose these days, Marks, they're getting used to it. They're doing it a lot, and they're having good results against the teams at the top of the continent.
Yeah, and one thing that I can share with you, though, Mike, is there's nothing just uncomfortable like playing the same opponents a week later. That's still not a joy for most players. They'll tell you that much. It's just awkward. There's nothing to look forward to. It's this face again. And it's more like you're saying, yeah, what are you going to do to me this time? Step on my toes again like last time. So it's not a game in between makes a big difference.
Right. But I suppose also for the Sundowns players who do play next week here against the Mbabane Swallows, as you say, it's a chance for them to put their name up in lights, a chance for them to impress the coach. They can do it in training, but in a match situation, whoever the opposition is, if you can go out there and do something fantastic and maybe fight for a place potentially in the starting lineup in some of the bigger fixtures to come, you could put your name out there and you can say to the coaching staff, have a look at me. This is what I can do for you. So for those players, I suppose in a way, they're going to be hungrier because they don't have that many opportunities. And if you give them a chance to play next week and they can do the business, it sets them up potentially for the season and for the coach to consider them in their plans.
Yeah, in fact, talking about the coach, I wonder if Mbabane is also thinking the way we have seen Pep thinking, that Haaland has been struggling for goals. Work with him, play balls to him. I mean, you've seen how many times the midfielders, your De Bruyne's and your Bernardo Silva, trying to feed him. But I'm not seeing that here. I see players playing the ball across, and you look at Shaluli, the only thing you will remember is the 2 chances he had. But it's not consistent supply to this hitman that you've got to build his confidence.
And if you look at Shalulile, he's lurking there on the just level with the last defender, waiting to make that run, waiting for the ball to be played in. Now Reyners is having a bit of a dispute with the referee. He's saying that it was a foul. He's saying that was awkward. And he's saying, I want protection from you, Mr. Ref. Now the goalkeeper under a little bit of pressure, eventually gets the clearance away to Mabilisa. Sundowns applying the pressure here. The Sting has long since gone out of the game, but the question is, how many more can Sundowns get? How many more do they want to get? The answer is probably quite a few. Here's a chance for Kulise to set it up, and now there might be something here. Again, a disappointing touch in the box, just a little bit too heavy from the substitute, and the ball put eventually behind for a corner. It looks like nobody wants to go across to take it. heat is getting to players from both sides. But for those fans, for the Yellow Nation, they'll be happy. You see here, number 21, Mkhulise, setting up the opportunity, and in the end, the ball just put behind for the corner.
Have you noticed that those fans are not even watching? The beat in the drums is 4-0, so we fine.
I think the drums are more exciting. Now, that's a lovely through ball. Is there a finish here? Another corner. Well, I think we can just put our commentary on autopilot, Marks, and just say ball put behind for a corner, and we can go and beat some drums. Oh, I think it's a satisfied coach tonight. Business has been done. Spelele Mkhulise taking the corner short this time. Sundows players waiting for the opportunity to get on the end of it. They need a quality ball played into the box. Just go all the way back to midway inside the Mbabane Swallows half. That's a better cross this time. Well cleared by towering bit of work in defence, and then the little layoff doesn't work. There might be a break on here with Sundows players committed upfield. Here's the best chance for Mbabane Swallows, but the offside flag was up anyway, and Ronwin Williams is a goalkeeper who hates being beaten, and he wants to protect his clean sheet with everything that he's got. And you can see just how eager he was, coming out, just making sure that even if the offside flag didn't go up, that he was first to the ball.
Didn't he have that covered? Even the first touch from opponent, he was going to make sure that he makes his life difficult. Good goalkeeping.
Very good goalkeeping. I suppose the goalkeeper at the other end, who's by far the more interesting of the two goalkeepers tonight in terms of his performance. For him to play opposite Ronwin Williams, who is nominated, of course, for that Ballon d'Or. Very unusual for a goalkeeper to have that honour and that distinction, and first South African ever to achieve that in terms of a goalminder. And we've had some really great goalkeepers in our country, but Ronwin Williams has certainly distinguished himself. Fantastic performances at AFCON. And so as a result of his saves in penalty shootouts and the like, that South Africa were able to get all the way to the semi-finals and eventually secure the bronze medal. This Khoza hasn't had too much to do, having been introduced into the game midway in the second half, and he's just had a few touches under no pressure whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the goalkeeper, Ronwin Williams, and Ballon d'Or, but you look at the contrast between the two keepers. The other keeper, that's Matabela, has never left the 18-yard area. So he's not prepared to go an extra mile. And Ronwin has done that. So the difference between achieving and not achieving is when you go an extra mile, you get more.
Yeah, indeed. So just look at that pass from Ronwin Williams out of defence, picks out a man in the centre circle. Sundows might be able to get something here. They might be ending strongly as they started. Poor Shalulile, he's lurking at the far post. He's standing free. He wants the ball. He's so anxious to get it. Now he's having to come deep to try and help his teammates to see that he is on the field. That's a rather wasted effort in the end, ballooning over the bar. So disappointing there from Lebogang Mabwe. But you mentioned about the two goalkeepers. Well, if Dickens was still alive, he'd write a book, The Tale of Two Keepers. Because it's been that tonight.
I've just picked up something. Reyners is new. You know, to be new in a team is something else. He's new. He plays the long ball. Yeah. He just goes into the box with that follow-up run. Nobody played it to him. And that's when Mabuya decided to turn and then took a shot over the bar. And he just sheepishly opened his hand like, I'm alone here. But he can't scream at him because he's new.
I suppose when you've played in the Stelly setup under Coach Barker for so long, and you almost intuitively know what your teammates are going to do, and now learning the ropes with a different team. While we have this, there's not much happening in the game as far as things are concerned. If it does get to a goalmouth action, obviously we'll let you know what's happening. But I'd just like your thoughts on this, Mafa. The move for Ikram Reyners to move from a side like Stellies, who are on the up and up. They've reached 5 consecutive semi-finals and now a couple of finals as well. And they really are doing well. They were up to second for large periods last season in the league towards the end, and lost that second place on the final day to Pirates, ended third in the end in the league. Just what do you make of that move for Reyners? Do you think it's a really good move for him, or do you think maybe he should have had another season at Steadies just to cement his position? I'd just like your take on the game, because I don't know, at Sundowns you're not guaranteed game time as he would be. I mean, he would be a star at Steadies. In Sundowns you're just one of a really good group of players. So how do you interpret that move?
I think it was a wise move, and I'll tell you why. He said, I'm 33, and I cannot be playing for a team that nearly, and that's very close to winning things. Let me play for a team that's used to winning things, and I'll be guaranteed that I have won something. Because then you have a situation like last time when Roy Keane was having a go at Karaka to say, your career, what have you achieved? He says, I nearly won the league, I nearly won. He says, now you see, I'm nearly about to leave you in the studio. But the point is, you can't have a nearly life. You know, you've got to achieve or not achieve.
All right, interesting answer there. And I suppose for Iki, it's a move to a team that have been very, very successful. Now it's Shalulile! Oh, I thought here was his chance finally. He made a really good run that time into the box. You just thought the supply was perfect for him. Could he get on the end of it? Would it be a tap-in? It wasn't to be. So it's not for lack of trying. He really is, the Namibian, trying his best, and he made a very, very good late run into the box. And the pass was nearly perfect.
Nearly perfect. The interesting thing is now Sundowns on the hot day, on their hot day, they'll have Shalulile and Reyners up front. Imagine when those two have now start scoring. Well, Reyners has been scoring just as he started here at Sundowns, but you've got to make sure you don't take them for granted.
Another ball this time a little bit too high for Shalulile to control. He knocks it out for a goal kick. I think the referee would be well advised to blow this up as quickly as possible. The sting has gone out of the game. There's very little action happening here. The only thing is to see if Shalulile can get on the score sheet. Just a reminder that Ribeiro Costa has scored twice tonight. Lebusa and Reyners on his official debut for the Brazilians. Just 2 minutes. I think that's wise. There haven't been too many stoppages. There hasn't been much sting in the game, and not too many injuries to talk about either. So the officials have decided 2 minutes is sufficient, and we'll see what happens. Is there a late twist to the tail here? But Sundowns have pretty much wrapped up this tie. They've done the hard work, as Pirates did earlier. Pirates have got maybe a little bit more work to do with their 2-0 result over Jwaneng Galaxy of Botswana. So they've still got a little bit of work to do in the second leg, but you feel that Sundowns, whatever happens in the second leg, it's very unlikely they're going to lose 4-0.
Yeah, interesting enough is when the board was raised in 2 minutes, I thought, okay, let's stop the topic that we are about to talk about, because nothing is happening from the Mbabane side. So we were going to rattle about the players that came from Swaziland that South Africa have ever seen. Your Shaka, in fact, your Chaklas Shongwe,
yes,
and your William Shongwe, and Skaratintwa, Kamete. I just thought, let's leave that topic for another day. If they behave the same way next time,
okay,
we realize, no, we'll talk about the past than them.
All right, perfect. That's a date that's pretty much guaranteed. But the only time I've ever seen in recent times a side come from 4-0 down, it happened, in fact, in the Championship in England last season, or 2 seasons ago, when Sheffield Wednesday were playing in the playoffs against Peterborough. And Peterborough won the first leg 4-0. And Sheffield Wednesday went into the second leg away from home. They were 4-0 down, and they came back, and astonishingly, they pulled it back to 4-4, and then eventually went and won it on penalties and qualified for a place in the Championship. In fact, it was the playoff in League One in England. So it has happened before, fairly recently, that I can recall, but you really can't see it happening here. Just seconds remaining. It's nearly the end of the game. It is now the end of the game. Mafa, let's sum it up here. 4-0, Sundowns doing the business, clinical performance. They did what they needed to do. Almost like a practice session for them, just almost a training game for Mbabane Swallows, I suppose. A chance for them to come up against glorified opposition, but business done, job done. And I suppose next week, the interesting thing will be what sort of team does Coach Niti select for the second leg.
I think I can sum it up by just simply saying Sundowns executed this assignment professionally, making sure that they take all their chances, put the ball in the back of the net, and at 4-0, they realized that they can knock the ball around and make changes and take it from there. But they were not lethal and still missed chances in the second half. But opposition, they never offered us anything at all, Mbabane Swallows.
So it's all set up for the return leg next week. Sundowns doing the business. This is an away leg for them, so they've effectively got 4 away goals. Not that that really means much in CAF competitions, but the job has been done, and the players of both sides will just congratulate each other. From neighbouring countries, of course, Sundowns will almost certainly get through to the group stages. These are the stats, how things stand. 62% possession. It might even have been more than that. Look at the attempts, 14, and 10 of them on target, as the 35-year-old goalkeeper did his best to try and keep them out. But Sundowns certainly extremely dominant in terms of the stats all around. So they've managed to win this game by 4 goals to 0. Hope you've enjoyed it. From Mark Mapignani and myself, Michael Abramson, in commentary, we're going to say goodbye to you and link you to much